Hey everybody, I promised a video a couple days ago about getting drugged in Cabo. And my dog Molly thinks she needs to be part of the video. So Molly, the golden, is putting her face in the video. Yeah, Molly's feeling my energy, so she thinks she needs to be part of the video. So here she is. So here's the story, y'all. It's pretty intense. I call it roofied. It's not roofied. It's a new drug. I have no idea what it is, but I call it roofied because it's the closest thing I could relate. I was roofied once in college in the 90s, and we're going with it. So my husband at the time and I went for a romantic vacation down in Cabo at the Hard Rock this Valentine's holiday, and we had arrived the day before Valentine's Day, so February 12th, and it was the day after, so obviously on Valentine's Day we had spent the morning doing what so many people do at the Hard Rock, getting suckered into doing the tour, and where they're like, oh, come join the Hard Rock, where I forget what it's called, where they want you to join their like Latitudes Club or something like that, where you buy like a package where you come back, kind of like their timeshare thing. So we did that. We said no to the first one, but then of course we ended up buying another package because I have family in Mexico. My dad, if you follow my channel, you know that my dad's one of the first rock and roll musicians who played in the Summer of Love in 1969, and I've got like original rock and roll blood in me, so rock and roll party on, y'all. So we ended up doing that. We were exhausted from listening to the spill, eager to get our party on, and the night before, my husband had been talking to fishermen because he had, before we left Colorado, he had bought a charter to go fishing because he loves deep sea fishing, and so he's trying to find other men to go fishing with him, and he had talked to some guys at the bar, and he's trying to find these guys to say, hey, this is the day, I need to get your information, we're going, this is the day. So he's very social. He was social chair of his fraternity, Sigma whatever, I forget, it doesn't matter. So he left me alone in the hot tub with like 20-30 strangers. No big deal. I'm social and get liquor in anybody, and they're more social, right? So I'm the one going, shots, everybody shots, we're drinking tequila shots, whatever shots, people are doing shots, we're having a nice time. And I'm just talking to strangers are talking to me, we're having a good time. Everybody's kind of like in their own little social, not cliques, but their own social circles, because it's family time, right? People are getting married, there's, weddings going on. By that time, we're kind of meeting up with people, like I know people that I rode the bus with from the airport back to the hotel, and people we'd seen at the bars the night before, there's Chicago. I'm like, hey, Chicago, how's it going? He's like, hey, Colorado. And, we're just having a good time. And there's a nurse and a doctor. They had lost their luggage. We're talking to them. And I think it happened relatively soon because it's very unlike me. So I've traveled a lot, and when you meet people, you're like, kiss, and I'm going up to people, I'm like, hey, can I give you a kiss? And they're like looking at me like, okay, and they're not sure how I'm going to kiss them. I'm like, kiss them on the cheek, and they're like, okay, that's cool. And this one lady's like, no, you can't kiss me. I'm like, oh, just on the cheek. She's like, okay, that's fine. And So I'm like making my rounds, just talking to people and wondering where my husband is, you know, because it's like he's gone forever. And I'm like, where's Andy? Where's Andy? And he comes back and he's checking on me. And all of a sudden he's like looking at me, and a couple of people are looking at me like, she's acting a little strange. And Andy comes back, he's like, babe, are you all right? And I'm like, why are you asking? And he's like, you need to come out of the hot tub. I'm like, I'm having fun, you know, come do shots. And he's like, how many shots have you done? And they're like, she's had a lot of shots. I'm like, I need more shots. And he's like, no, you need to come out. And by that time, the waiter's coming by, and I'm like, I need to give you a kiss to the waiter. And the waiter's like, no, 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 no. And I'm like, come there. And I'm like, give me a kiss. And I'm like grabbing the waiter. He's got a big tray of drinks. I'm like, give me those shots. And the waiter's like, no, no, senorita, no, senora, no, senora. And I'm like, give me a kiss. And my husband's like, honey, we need to take you back to the room. And I'm like, no. And about that time, I'm like seeing sparkles, but they're not like your normal, you know what I mean? Like sparkles when you see, like before you pass out. You know what I'm talking about. Before you pass out and like lose consciousness, you see sparkles. These weren't sparkles. They were like brown sparkles. And I'm just like, whew, okay, this is good times, right? I'm having a good time. And Andy's like, come on, babe, we need to get you back up to the room. And I'm like chasing the bartender, and he's like running away from me. He's like, get away, Sonora, get away. And I'm like, come give me a kiss. And he's like, you get away, Sonora. And Andy's like, come on, babe. And I'm like, and there's a guy in the lawn chair, and I'm like, I need to get my wrap, I need to get my shoes, I need to get my